I need to bolt that down. I'm still rearranging my workshop after installing a new milling machine. Well, new to me. It's older than me. There you go. Anyway. Okay, so what I've done is I've dressed all of these guys up. Got rid of the radius, or the better part of the radius, without taking too much off. And I just measured them up, made sure that they were all pretty close, within 0.1 of a millimetre of each other. So that's not too bad. I think that that'll be enough. We do that, and then we increase the depth of engagement with the washer swap, and I think we're going to be gravy. Okay, I've made 1 millimetre. I've made a millimetre off the diameter. I think that that'll be enough to be able to get him down in between the kickstand and the sump. All right, washer swap. This can be a bit tricky. Just getting that clip off of there. If you're an unskilled bloody numpty like me. Oh. So how you been? All right? Well, I hope. All right. Liberated from its groove. Okay, so we have a washer here. Let me just try and separate it. So there it is there. It's not very thick, it's only well, let's have a look. According to the guessometers, it's 1 millimetre thick. So we slide second gear off, which is asymmetrical. For the guys that were asking, why don't you just flip this over? You can't. But we take our washer and we place it on first, then we put our gear on, and we now have an extra millimetre of engagement. Truly are a horrible clip. Well, horrible, they're bloody efficient. Bloody helps if you have the right tools. All right, so that's all the prep work done. We've got the washer swap done. We've got the dogs prepped. So now it's just the easy part, just putting it back together. This will be simple. It'll all fall together, and happy days. We'll be on our way in no time at all. Nope. Nope, it's going to fight me. It's going to fight me. Why are you lying to these good people? All right, this is my favourite bit. Again with the lies. So we're going to put this up in there with mirror and some light source. You're going to have the best view from here. I'm going to have this view. I think I can do better. All right, time to up my mirror game. That's that there. And my lighting game. Oh, how much better is that? How well can I see the shift drum? Pretty good. All right, let's get you where you belong, up underneath, looking up at the skirt, and we're going to attempt to get this thing back together. Wish me luck. Okay, hopefully you can see all right, and this light isn't in the way of the camera. Maybe if I shift it over there a bit more. Okay, so there is a groove there that takes the middle fork. I'm going to try and basically rest it in its place, which is there. As for the other ones, what I think I'll do, because they go like so, but I'm going to, there's a hole that runs through the casing. Hang on. There's a hole that runs through the casing there. This is where the shaft runs. So I'm going to poke something in there just to hold them up, but they'll be held up higher than what they will be in the end. This is the fork that selects between, that engages second gear. Now, it did have a little bit of wear on the back of it, where it had obviously, you know, as the gear jumps out, it puts bloody load on the fork, and it just had a couple of little nicks in there, so I've dressed those up. I did my best to try and determine if it was square, and for all intents and purposes, from what I can gather, it is. The other thing I did was I machined a little mandrel and slid it on in the lathe and put a dial indicator on to see whether or not it had any twist in it, and it doesn't. So let's just let's call it good. All right, so they're hanging up there, well, hopefully up out of the way. They're not really out of the way, but now let's try and get this guy in. So we're going to feed him through towards me. Yeah, see, that's not going to be any good to me because this fork here is really not in the best place. It's on the wrong side of the... Okay. They're all falling down, so that's a fail. Let's just see if we can manoeuvre them in after I get the shaft semi-positioned. All right, now trying to sit it into the bearing at the back and get these gears aligned. I can't really see what I'm doing. I'm going off feel, essentially. I can see me having to take this shaft in and out a few times. Now, the last time I did this and I videoed it, I lost the footage of putting it back in. Now, as time has passed, I've come to realise that that was the first time I had ever filmed anything with a GoPro that was long enough to have a continuation file. So they film for about 10 minutes or so, and then it creates a new file. And it's a little bit different when you look at it on a computer. It doesn't even look like a movie file. So I think what happened was I just didn't realise that, and I legit had it filmed and eventually just wiped that footage out. So this time we're going to do our best not to have it interrupted. What? you know what, I think I need a break. I'm going to have a cup of tea, clean my hands, have a cup of tea and a biscuit, and come back to us. All right, it's the next day. So I came back from my little break having a cup of tea, and I kept going. I kept going for hours for the rest of the day, and I have struggled with this. It is, it's not a job for the faint of heart. I have done this job a couple of times before on my bike, and I have not had the issue that I'm having with this one. It still took a long time. I think about the 2 hours. It took about 2 hours. It took me last time. It was just a case of jiggle, 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 bang, and it went in. This one seems to be fighting me a little bit more. So we'll give it a go again today. If I don't achieve what I need to achieve today, this thing's going to have to get stripped down, flipped upside down like a bicycle. And it is a thing. Someone mentioned it. It's a pity that you can't. Well, you can. It just means that you have to tear everything off the top of the bike so it doesn't get damaged, and then flip it upside down and then work on it from above. And that, obviously you've got gravity helping you then. And of course you can see better. But, we've just got to try and remain positive and get stuck back into it. Let's give it a good old college try. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken the first gear in line off up this end, just to be sure that with the washer swap we can get it started in the bearing, and second gear can get past this gear at the front. But I'm starting to be concerned with the fact that I can't. We may not be able to do a washer swap on this particular bike. The clearances may not allow it. We might have a stack tolerance because essentially what's going on is the shaft has started in the bearing. When I say started in the bearing, it's resting inside and it's out. It's engaged in the radius that is the lead into the inner race. However, up at this end, I don't know whether you can see it or not, but up at this end, hang on, let me turn this around. But up at this end, second gear is hitting the gear above it that normally engages with fifth gear. So diagonally, the measurement's too long to allow it to fit. So I'm trying to figure that out. We should be able to just sit that in the bearing and lift the front of the shaft up. I'm going to swap the washer back and see if I can make it work then. I've removed the washer and put the gear back where it normally lives. Should be able to pop that into the bearing and lift the gear up, and we can. Let me try it now with the gears on this end, because I think we've got two battles to fight here. One of them is these two gears down this end of the shaft. Okay, that's shaft in. Now let me explain to you exactly what I did there. There is a circlip on that side of this gear here, which I think is first gear, and I pushed the circlip down the shaft and slid this gear here down as far as it would go, pushed the circlip down behind it. That allowed me to slip the bearing out of this gear, which I think is first gear, down there, so that I could drop first gear and it would be loose on the spline, if that makes sense. Then I was able to kick that gear and jam it up in here where it belongs. Lifted all that up, the shaft went in, and then I grabbed hold of this gear here, this engagement gear. Which one was it? This one here. Pull it back, and that pushed the circlip back into its groove. So that's all assembled there now. But the problem that we have is I can't do the washer swap, because for whatever reason the tolerance stack has allowed it to get to the point where the clearances aren't there to have this shaft at an angle and trying to engage it and clear that gear at the top. And I've not come across that before. Well, like I said, I've only done it on my bike. So I think that I'm going to have no choice. I will surrender the good used gears I have and fit them in this bike, because we can't do the washer swap. I was hoping to avoid that, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, I've conceded. We're going to have to use the gears that I have been keeping for a rainy day, and these are mint. So we have to abandon the washer swap on this particular assembly for whatever reason. That will not fit. Now, I haven't done a million of these, as I've said. I've only ever done my bike, and I didn't have this issue. And many people have completed that washer swap. Many people. It's a common workaround. So it surprises me. It surprises me that it won't work on this particular assembly. We in? We in? Oh, don't think we are. Yes, now we are. Very good. Right. Now, the other end, I'm still going to do what I did before. So we've got the circlip pushed down, that's the circlip groove there. That's the circlip groove there. The circlip has been pushed down the shaft. So we're still going to adopt that methodology. And there's a washer, our bearing, the gear we want to be able to flop about, and finally that gear. Okay, let's see if we can get this bloody shaft in there, shall we? I just got that in. That just went straight in. Holy shit. Oh, Yeah, baby. Now we've still got the challenge of putting these forks in, but it just went straight in. Nothing really changed there. I just didn't have it quite off the splines. Just, yep. But there you go. Right, well, let's just pull this gear back now. This one. That's that should be good. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that in at this point, this juncture. I need to get the top of the fork started in the shift fork groove between that's first gear, that's fourth gear, I think, fourth gear maybe. No, it might be third. I don't know, fellas, alright? Don't know. What I do know is there's got to be a magic combination where this will fit. And there it is. Yep, baby! Right, now I need to extract that shaft and start feeding it in from this side. Now let's do this without cocking up the whole damn thing. Right, that's those two sorted. One to go. This guy's got to go up in here. We need to put my mint fifth gear. I was saving these, and this looks like the job it's going to be for. Right. Got to mesh with the gear above it to get it in there. Just trying to achieve that. Now we need this guy. What is stopping that from going in? Oh, it is the fork. Okay. Right, so we need to get that up and out of there. Gotcha, you bastard. Rightio. Okay. I can't believe it, but they're all in. I guess I gotta believe it. I'm looking right at it. Right, I'm going to put this circlip on. All right. Okay, so we can put our bearing housing back on the side. I'm not going to tighten these up. I'm just going to put one in, leave it loose so that I know it's loose, because I want to put a bit of Loctite on those, and I just don't have any with me at the moment. That may be the thumbnail. Okay guys, I'm going to call it a day at that. It is getting late. So we've got to button up everything else. I'm still waiting on a sump gasket. I've got all the other parts. Most things were available through Yamaha. I like to use genuine parts where I can. So we've got a genuine Yamaha clutch side cover gasket, genuine Yamaha O-ring for the oil pump, genuine Yamaha crush washer for the sump plug. I managed to find a new old, the left hand side cover, this side cover is discontinued from Yamaha, and so is the sump gasket. I managed to find a new old stock left hand side cover gasket, and I have that now. The only thing I'm waiting on is the sump gasket. I had to buy an Athena because there were no new old stock ones that I could find, and like I said, they're discontinued from Yamaha, and the likes of, what is it, CMSNL, whatever they are, and Mike's XS, etc. If you go onto their website, you'll find that they have them listed, but you can't select one because they obviously have none in stock either. So well, yes, we've got to remove old gaskets and give that a clean up, put it all back together and give it a test ride. So that'll be part 3. Part 3. So we'll catch you in part 3. Bye for now.